All right. Well, I fucked things up again. 2 episodes in a row. Great. Episode 2 and episode 3. I forgot to record about 7 or 8 minutes of getting Triggy with it, episode 3. And in this episode, we have myself, Sabat, Bing Kaz, Opus, Kylon, and infamous Zeramus Plague chatting about being Triggy. So I hope you guys enjoy the show.
To worry about him anymore.
I've seen it pointed out how strange it is that we got almost unanimous support for this. There were a few people who were very mad, among them Anything 25, who threw a little bit of a tantrum over our decision. But most of ITC, which, yeah, we're toast now, uh, most people agreed. They were like, dude, this sucks. We're a fucking liability. Like, people now have to come to defend us every day. This is really obnoxious. Like, yeah, we could send 12 bombers, but what are we going to do against a no block? That's silliness. Like, it's just, we didn't want to be a button people could push to make the Triglavian coalition form up,
Yep.
It is pretty liberating now that what are you gonna do? What are you gonna take from us?
Push button, receive content.
And to be clear, we
It's
actually
obnoxious.
didn't have to burn our own structures. The Russian Thunder Squad and Liquidators took care of that for us. We just hoard on the kill mill.
Yeah, right.
My thinking is we could have continued to fight them off for quite a while. We have a lot of big
True.
friends who were continuing to form up on our behalf, but the problem is they're out there spending billions on defending us, on protecting our structures, and I'm like, dude, like, this worked in early Pakvan. Forming up 12 people was fine because when someone reinforced our structures, it was small gain conflict. That was the nature of the space. But now that Null can send armies in here, it's like, they're punching down on us, dude. This isn't a fair fight at all. So we've really had to reconsider the value of protecting our space, where previously it was a no-brainer.
Yep. Nope. Totally, totally get that. So, Kylon, and not Kylon, Zero, you already kind of mentioned it. Yours and Kylon's opinions on, well, ITC being toast. I mean, I know I was privy to some of the stuff on Discord and was reading it and was like, are you kidding me right now?
I think it's a sad state of affairs because myself and Kylon and a lot of others worked pretty hard to build ITC. And in fact, we fought wars to protect it. Breadfleet specifically, there was a time when the String Beans told us, you got to join us. You got to join us or we're going to come destroy you. And their intention was that ITC would be absorbed by them. And we actually fought a many-month war against Strybog to retain these little autonomous corps. We didn't want them to all have to be absorbed, and everybody kind of wanted to stay independent. So we fought pretty hard to keep that organization a thing, and we all had a lot of history there. So the fact that one person felt that they owned us and everything that we'd built as a team, I feel that that's kind of frustrating. But at the same time, this is an era of rebirth for all of Pakvan, not just for Breadfleet, not just for Toast. This is, we're liberating ourselves from the frustration of endless timers, and now we're rebranding in a way that's better reflective of our decentralized nature, because there is no one leader of Toast. I mean, I'm constantly a representative, so too is Kylon, but neither of us make decisions for everybody. We vote on things. Everybody has a say in this team, and that's something I like to represent to folks.
Yep. Nope. Makes perfect sense. And touching on, the new era of Pacman, well, Trigs in general. I hate when everyone bundles us all into just Trig role players. I mean, yeah, we kind of are. Some of us are Trig roleplay light. We just love the space, love the lore. And some roleplay harder than others, but I'm dubbing our new era as Invasions Chapter 4. Because I know everyone's starting to branch out into high sec, low sec, and do shenanigans.
Can we talk about observatories and their current state?
Oh, what? Like,
What observatories?
Yeah. Volta
Those
getting
exist?
Volta getting like 10 sliders on them and getting like 20 million ISK. Like,
Oh,
it's,
I didn't know they were sliding, but they've set up a pretty good slider trapped from what I've seen.
No, I just knew that Volta got slid on by a
Oh,
bunch of
yes.
people, and they all got like nothing.
The Volta
It
people
is
got nothing,
about the
right?
silliest thing. It's the fucking silliest thing I've ever seen in this game, that you've got CCP actively encouraging people to take part in this. They're like, hey, CCP, is this an exploit? This is totally not an exploit, right? And you got CCP Alpha tipping the hat. No, as far as I can tell, that's not an exploit. Dude, by what right? These people are remote repping boxes of ammo. They're remote repping the gate and flying away. There is no counter to that. I mean, yes, Volta's trap sounds rad, but that is predicated on the idea that you're going to get there before these guys. They have a network of people scouting the triangle, and they'll typically slide the hell out of a site before you can get there, and they'll certainly slide it, before they'll get a couple people in there at least before you can stop them generally.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
cool
and
that
you
we're
also
trapping them. It's cool that we're trying to find ways to make it inconvenient, but there's no counterplay.
yeah, the no counterplay. I mean, there's certain things you can do, but then like you're going further down the rabbit hole of splitting your IS because you're gonna have to have like people sitting outside the gate to hold people off, and it just there really isn't a good counterplay, like 100%.
Like the only counterplay is to get there first. And to, sacrifice ships that you could use on grid to fight sliders.
Yep.
That's, and they sure won't sit and fight you either. They'll just burn away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's weird. I mean, I love doing those. They're good money. I mean, I always get a little annoyed when they keep popping while I'm at work, and I see the pings, and I'm like, there goes money I could have gotten, but I'm in the middle of a field sampling something, so I can't do that. So it's always like that bummer when they're popping, and I know we can get to them before sliders. But then on the flip side of things, like I don't know, the past several days I've just been hitting mining hard.
Yeah,
Like,
so observatories are not really useful to many people right now. I know there's some Voltas out there running them, and there's probably 3 times as many sliders out there.
hmm
So they seem to be not very useful right now, and I would like to point out that there are many other ways, oh goodness, to make ISK and Pushvin.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways.
Even so, if you take the main faucet and allow it to be exploited like this, the natural consequence is that less people are going to run content in PocFan over time. You're already seeing it. You're seeing people,
Oh, yeah.
tighten their belts and stop running OBS because we don't want to make these guys rich off of doing no work, right? So now if 90% of the people out here are just waiting for someone else to run content, the area is going to die, dude. It's bad mechanics.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, no, I like. I wish they could nuke the payouts or fix it. They had this problem with incursions. They didn't do anything. They're not doing anything with this version. They had the problem with incursions though. Like they should just pop it over into the smaller sites. I mean, we live in the home system and we don't get any of like occasionally we'll have a small site. But like the rest of the triangle gets a lot more of the smaller sites that are worth nothing, but pour some money into them. Give us some data and relic sites. I'm sure Bing would love to have his fun of hacking stuff again.
Yeah, that'd be great, man. Like, I mean, there's so much that they could do with the space. It's strange how like, you put effort into a project like this. If you're a game developer like CCP, you put a lot of effort into a project like this. And you say, hey, we're going to create this new region where people can come, and we're going to put dynamic new content in it. It's part of a storyline, and then you just abandon it. Like, why? It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The most confusing thing for me is that through their NPC storyline, through the Zorga Triglov and all, they invited us here. They said, "Hey, come to this place. This is the way to the homeland, and you people who have proven yourself, you oughta come and live with us." So we did, we heavily invested, we moved in here, and then a few months in, CCP's like, fuck those guys. Who cares? This
I
is
mean,
now space for everyone. There's no ideological gates. It's like, so okay, fuck us, I guess. Like, I know our community's small, but you made us. Your story created this emergent community. So the very least you could do is, respect the people who live in that space. Try to consider their needs.
right. I think that it's so I have mixed feelings, right? I feel that it sucks that they did it this way, but I'm very happy with what this community has become, right? Because we are equal parts, industrialist, wormholer, PvPer. A lot of us dabble in, all kinds of different disciplines that previously we didn't know. And I think that's a huge boon and a huge benefit. And I think that really what, going back to Invasion Chapter 4, that really what it is, we got done with turning all the stars and we went into our own region for a while and we had all these experiences that made us who we are, but now we're going to be starting to come back out into the rest of New Eden and really invading that space with a group of people who I think pound for pound have more skills and diversity than perhaps any other single core group in the game. I mean, usually nullsecers, what do? They do nullsec. They're F1 monkeys. There's not a huge amount of variety there, and that's strictly my opinion, right? Wormholer is kind of the same thing. You've got your low sec, players, so forth. To be really successful out in Pochman, especially for as long as many of us have been, you have to be all of those things. And I think Invasion Chapter 4 is really us kind of cutting back loose on New Eden.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was on Twitter today to post that the episode was going to be starting today and what time it was going to be at and all that stuff, and I saw a tweet from Rick's, and it actually made me laugh because we do Saturday Night Invasions, and Rick's was being called cancer to the game because they were hell camping Tama, and I was like, oh, we were gate camping the low sec into Tama last night. How funny. Like, triangles are now going to be coming out and messing up other people's games, and it's going to butt hurt Edencom because Edencom is, made up of warring factions of faction war players who are always fighting against each other unless they have the common cause of us, but we are one unified triangle of doom. If we so choose, we can we can do a lot of fun invading and doing weird fun things that we do at the spur of a moment.
Yeah.
You know what I enjoy? I have a comrade who he uses filaments to launch little mining fleets out into Null and steal ores from the Null blocks. Because they're out here knocking on our door and shooting at us with fleets that we can't fight, so he's out there stealing their rocks. Now that's heroic in my humble opinion. That's sticking it to the man, biting the big dog on the ass. Go and take their materials. What are they gonna do about it? We have filaments. We can just pop around and go wherever we please.
Yeah.
Really cool to have an instant go home button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, man.
in the episode with Juris Doctor and Brisk, I mean, we touched on there is some. I think filaments need to be reworked somehow. They do not. They are too much of a get out of jail free card, in my opinion. Like,
I
way
think
too much.
so. One of the things that we were talking about, as far as like, there's been some talk about approaching CCP and saying, hey, here's some ideas about how to fix this and make it work again. Is maybe having a mechanic where you can complete a series of sites or something like that that will allow the Triglavian players to lock out that system, say for 24 hours or whatever, of course, the numbers or something you can play with, but allow them to lock out the system and make it so that it is secured against filaments. I think that would be huge. Yeah.
Yeah, nope, I totally agree. I agree on that, but I don't know about lockout. I just think like um, filaments should be reworked to potentially be based off of your standings. Like, you want to go into a border system? Okay, get like do what the gates used to be. You want to go into borders? You need 1.0 standing. You want to go into, like, they should separate them, like border internal and home, depending on your standing, to be able to use those filaments. Like that would at least work better, because then you won't have, wormholers going, oh fuck, I'm about to get evicted, and just hit the yeet button into Pokemon and 15 minutes later extract into high sec or low sec.
Yeah, it does make it really broken. There's got to be a way to make it work that is better, and that's something that I think that everyone has been calling for, but we haven't really had a lot of success with. And I think that maybe, you know, this change of events of now we burned all of our structures and everything, that kind of sets a precedent to approach CCP and be like, look, this is where we're at. Like this place is kind of just, a hole that nobody really, we live here, but it's kind of useless to us. The reason we're here is because it's our, pseudo ancestral home, if you will. Like Amar is the home for the Amarians, so on and so forth. And try to get them to do something with it. Like try to present them solutions or something that will make them want to get involved in it again, because it has a lot of potential and that storyline is great. And the thing is, Eden Common Triggs, I mean, that is such an easy thing to turn into a new faction warfare type element. I mean, bring back the sliding, the system sliders where you're trying to turn it Eden Common Triggs. There's so much that could be done with it that they just, I don't know, man. Like I get that they're human, but like, gosh, like come on, do something,
Yeah, no, I could agree. It'd be fun if they gave the slider, but like, you have the normal faction warfare sliders, but then
Right.
we could go in and, if faction warfare were to work that way, we could go in and fuck with the sliders.
Dude, if faction warfare goes where I want it to go, I will not give a fuck about sliders or OBS sites. I literally just want to go fight over stars again. I want to go use the Triggy team, form up the TTI. Guys, we got a blue star. Let's go attack this shit. And then I want to change the map again. I want to lower stars' security status. I want people panicking because their assets were in high sec, but now they're in low sec. Or, that was fun. That gave Edencom a
Yeah.
reason to exist. That gave us an enemy. It gave us content. So, I really wouldn't care so much about how much they've ruined the local faucets and the resource balancing in Pokvan. I'd be keen to just use it as a staging highway to attack things.
Yeah, I think if they reworked it, one of the things that they should do is get rid of the obs. I mean, it's it is broken. Like nobody's ever argued that the numbers and the math on that site were good, right? I mean, for 15 minutes of investment, you can make 300 mil. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
I would disagree with you heavily
Really?
because
That's
it's
fair.
not 15 minutes of investment. It's months and months of investment. We fought to live in Pokvan. We fought to create Pokvan. The only thing we got out of this was a semi-reliable way to earn ISK. Not even super reliable because people can slide on it and steal it. And the fact is, we're earning ISK that's comparable to incursion runners per hour with way more danger. Often putting the same kind of expensive ships on the line, but without the safety of doing it in high sec. So the fact that we can do it a little bit faster and maybe earn a little bit more per hour than a high sec incursion runner, that doesn't seem so broken or unbalanced to me. It might seem really nice to people who are coming from high sec mining or other, there's a lot of groups that this is like the most they've ever made. But for me, dude, I was already earning about this. I was actually earning more as an incursion runner in high sec because I didn't whelp so much. I didn't die so much to PvP.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
oh,
I can see that. I guess let me rephrase that. I would say that if they rework it and they provide something that is more consistent, that is more viable, that maybe each site doesn't, just spit out ISK in the same way, but that there are more of them and you can go from site to site to site instead of there just being 3 in the entire 27 system region, then maybe we should consider that. But I get where you're coming from. You know what I mean?
If it's one thing I think we communicated to CCP well,
right,
is that there should be more PvE and something beyond entry level anomalies. We need the medium and hard level anomalies. It's nullsec. It should look like nullsec with a probe scanner window full of anomalies to run, and
and that doesn't
one
exist.
of them is an easy place for PvP to happen too.
Right, and there's not a single area in Parchment that is that way. Like you might have some systems that have 3 or 4 of the smaller sites, but I mean, it really needs some redistribution. I think that as part of the ongoing story, CCP could easily drum up reasons to change it that way. The question is, will they ever do that? And that's something that I think that a lot of the Pochven player base has been having a lot of doubts about lately. Is like, is this even worth our time? I mean, yeah, we're going to live out here because this is home, but is it ever going to be anything but a failed project? Yeah.
Opus being silent.
Opus hasn't said
I mean,
anything.
I'm letting y'all talk a little bit about this, right? I mean, I've been a voice with this a little bit. I agree with everything y'all said. I'm also reading some things in chat, right? And you know, I think what happens with sometimes with like we get lumped in together, right? Like Triglavians and Potchman get lumped in together. So you know, just because one group has been able to use these sites more than others doesn't mean we all got to, right? There
Right.
was only ever 3 of them at one time. Like there's only 3 that can spawn, and without going into so many details, you assume that we've all had equal access to this content, which we have not.
Definitely have not.
So yes, I do agree that we had some exclusivity with these sites for several months as a region. Um, when the gates were locked and other things were how they were, but I think you have to be a little more nuanced with how you say things when it comes to different groups in here, right? So ITC, Como, us as in Cybernauts Clade, right? Some of us were smaller, we had to grow. Some of us had to we also had internal fighting too, right? We weren't all blue from the get-go. There was a Thunderdome-ish style you know back and forth that was happening for a while. So
Mhm.
we weren't running these sites in pure safety. There was other trick groups shooting at us, knocking us off sites. So there's a narrative here that yes, we eventually got blue to everybody, but that was right before the invasion of Potchman happened from different entities.
The gates
You're right.
opening and the floodgates were opened, and it was
You're right. It took a couple months for us to get organized to where we could all run the observatories. So in that regard, Streetwog had access to them for quite a bit longer than we did. Because yeah, I remember us getting pushed off by various fleets and all that stuff.
yep.
Yeah, dude, we'd form up to run one, and we'd have a fleet up in 10 minutes, and the string beans would be in system. Right? They had like a system. They were just frequently smashing them out, and so little groups like us, we didn't even have access to OBS until way later down the line. People have this like crazy idea that we've been chilling in Pakvan, just getting super rich. Like, oh, you guys, you've had it fat for too long. Like, nah, dude, you maybe it's fair to say that about some of the bigger groups. Maybe they had a nice little golden age where they were able to produce some Iskin here. But most of us in the little teams, I can't speak for Kybernauts, but I think that the sentiment was the same. That like we were bleeding Isk. To stand our ground in here meant
Yeah.
losing ships every day. It meant insta-locking drifters. It meant glitchy shit. Getting you killed for no reason. It wasn't an age of making money. We were losing it.
Yep.
And I
No.
mean, if you look at the kill board right now for Potchman, right, we're still the things we quote unquote cry about are still happening, right? Broken NPCs, like you can have a like our little shack fits 1.6 bill, 1.8 bill. Literally they can just be vaporized on a gate, like just like that. Like there's no rhyme or reason. Just you get insta locked and boomed, you're shot. And it's not like that anywhere else in space. You're dealing with drifters that insta lock. So, there's a lot of hurdles, and we're fine with those. We understand that things were broken. We're not fine with it in that regard, but we were willing to continually, just push through that, right? So, I think the sentiment that comes out of the community is like, oh, the first anniversary and y'all leave. No, we were dealing with crab sliders for a while before this happened, right? We were trying to figure out how to get rid of them. We were trying to counter them. They were doing some counterplay based off that, and that's how we got stupid repping ammo boxes and each other. And so, you know, through this entire time, we've been overcoming not only our region, our broken NPCs, other players fighting each other. There's there's of course with anything, right? There's a narrative that's the simplistic version, and then there's actually the truth. And I think that when we when you actually understand what came out of here and what our guys and had to deal with, this was a heavy toll on a lot of players. Everyone can't go out and make a billion ISK in a heartbeat. Even one of these OBS sites, you're going to get paid out about 250 mil. So to make that Lachette back, you're going to have to run at least 5 to 6 sites, if not more, just to recoup the cost of that Lachette early on. Now we found other ways to run things, but you know that has come as we've evolved. And be fair, the crab sliders have, and so going, has actually helped us evolve in some ways. So I'm not saying that we have overcome adversity. We've overcome these things. We've tried to counterplay, but at the same time, at some point you go look at it and go, it ain't worth it, right? Again, it comes down to the whole fact, if I can spend a week trying to stay in potch and wait for something that spawns, only 3 in the whole region, or I can go outside the area and make yes at a lower rate, but at least a rate where I'm having fun.
Yeah. No, I mean, it taught us different things. We also got pretty good at, when we spot one, we're just like, well, man, do we really want to run this now? Like, we can just let them sit there all day and do other things. Like, I love wasting crab sliders times. Like, they can be AFK sitting in there all day long, and I can be sitting in a home mining field making money.
I'll say one thing. Not all crab sliders are created equal. I mean, there's real scummy ones that are flying around AFKing and they have no honor, but I've seen the more honorable of the crab sliders turn on them, shoot those guys, and they've expressed to me in private, like, we have no respect for them. Like, this is an active sport. You need to be here. If you're going to crab slide, you need to be there at your keyboard sliding crabs. Like, so shout out to I think that they're clever dudes, right? Like the fact that I'm not mad at the community that for coming up with, ways to exploit the system. It's like, dude, if you're going to give me a chance to steal from people, fuck yeah, I'm going to do it. But, I definitely think this is a mechanic that was not intended, and CCP should try to readdress this. Because even those crab sliders, the ones I'm talking about, the better of them, would agree with me when I say this is really unbalanced. It's not fair that you can steal from people without even risking anything. So
What, you
we
mean
got
flying?
to do something.
Let me fly to the gate, rep the gate, fly off. No one can ever touch me, and I'm still going to get money. Yeah, a lot of it's bullshit, and that was part of the reason why I wanted
100 legit gameplay.
Yeah,
right?
Like actually go in, shoot something, potentially get caught. Like, yeah, do that. Don't just hide like a little bitch in the first room.
So the thing about it is, Killrock's talking about that some of this stuff is new, and I totally get where you're coming from. And nobody here is trying to argue that it's not legitimate gameplay. Like, do what you do. You know what I mean? If you're gonna go make ISK, go make ISK. It's in the end user license agreement. As long as you are not truly cheating, then it is acceptable, right? No one's trying to argue that point. The point that I think we're all trying to get at that frustrates all of us is that for 8 months now, CCP has just been like, oh well, it is what it is. Like, it's you guys' fault for coming out here and making money. You deserve this. It's like, wow, okay.
Yep. I mean, that was part of.
Further, this would be called an exploit. Oh, would you say, friend?
Oh no,
Sorry,
I was just gonna say, like, this is the reason why I wanted to create this Twitch stream and podcast and YouTube channel, was so you don't have Matterall and all the other people. I mean, Push to Talk and anyone else talking about Pokemon just spewing out random stuff when they actually don't spend any time here. Like,
Yeah,
the first,
they don't live here. They don't fly here.
like everyone being like, oh, the first MR, like the first, thing show that you guys made 5 trillion. I don't, what trillion is, like, that just says Triglavian invasions. That could be anything. Like, it doesn't say Pokemon in particular. It just says Triglavian invasions. Like, there's lots of issues that I want to point out. But Zero, you had a point. Go ahead.
I've forgotten it. I can't think that far. I'm like a goldfish, man.
Yeah, we're all triangles.
Thoughts
You
are
only have like triangles, 3 seconds of memory, right?
Oh, I was going to say, under any other circumstances, this would be considered an exploit, right? Like,
Yeah.
clearly it is not intended that a person should not engage with the content at all. not engage with the NPCs, not engage with the fleet, yet still sop up the majority of the payout. I mean, again, the natural conclusion of this is that multi-boxing sliders are going to become a very profitable way to plex accounts, and so there's great financial incentive for people to just make a bunch of accounts, slide all these things in advance, wait for someone to run them, and they can do this just by scouting the circuit. And the moment they see an obs pop up, they slide it to shit, and good luck. What are you going to do? Even if you
Yeah.
kill a couple of them, they'll just come back and wait in the first room, and they'll still get a payout. So it's a broken mechanic, and I think a lot of them even know that. I've said
Oh, yeah.
I've said I use this against people I don't like. If I can't beat you, if I can't destroy your fleet, yeah, I'll totally come slide on you. Why not? But it's broken even when I do it.
Yep. Yep. No, I totally agree with that. I mean, I would never slide on a fellow coalition member, but fuck it. Someone else? Someone that's not a triangle that didn't buy into this content, like, yeah, no, screw them.
It feels to me like the spirit of Eve demands that if you want to come take my payout, come and beat me, come and destroy my fleet, come and fight me, come engage me, or something like incursions. Like if you want to be sneaky, come and like outdo me on the site, out DPS me on the tower or something. There has to be a way that forces you to engage with the content or engage with me. It shouldn't be the case that you can just steal all the work of other people and not really have to do any yourself. It's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah. So Zero, we've kind of touched on what we would like to see. What would you like to see in a chapter 4 of the invasions? What would be some cool mechanics that you would be like, man, like it would really excite you again? Aside from, we kind of touched on bringing back the same old, we're trying to take systems and stuff like that. What are some other thoughts that you've got, man? And Kylon too. I know Kylon, we don't see you moving, so I think it kind of makes it harder for us to notice you. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Triglavian cowboy hats.
Oh,
Um,
all right.
yeah, no, this is a thing we need. Lu Ling would be very mad at me if I didn't advocate for cowboy hats in game. A full line of Triglavian ships to bring them in line with a regular empire. T3 cruisers, T2 battleships, all the fun shit we're missing. That would be great fun. A Triglavian epic arc. Everybody wants one. I've heard it said that questing in this game is so old that it's like impossible to add that shit, but I know a lot of people would like to explore what Triglavian augmentation is like, what it's like to become a Troika, to have a Navka installed, or I want to learn more about their culture, so it would be cool to get some more
Right.
lore on them. Yeah, honestly, right now the thing that sucks is that our entire community, and the same can be said for the Edencom community, it came out of this content, right? It came out of the invasion, but now that's been gone for months. There's like
Right.
been nothing there's no progression. It's
Right.
so
The
ultimately,
Edencom
yeah,
thing,
I want to see more Triglavian shit. I want to see more reason for
I was about to say the Edencom
what's that?
thing. It's almost at the Edencom thing. It's reaching almost we're what 9 months. We're close to a year since Edencom Trigs actually had true content against each other.
Yeah. And
And
that's something that go ahead, sorry.
I was about to say, like, I PM'd Opus, like, it was like 2 weeks ago. I was at a job site where I literally decided to resub Eve last year. And I was seeing all the Trig content, like, from previous Trig content before Invasions Chapter 3 started. And it was like, oh, fuck, like, this sounds like fun. This is something different. And now we've been shelved and kind of ignored. We're the bad kids. We got put in a corner.
Yeah, I feel like so we at least got something, right? When the war ended, we got Podfin, right? And we were able to move out here and start living out here, working out here, and kind of continue that story. For Edencom, like it feels like they just got slapped in the face. Like a lot of, and granted, I don't fly Edencom ships, so I don't have firsthand experience to say, but everything that I've heard is like, yes, they have usefulness, but in very limited amounts. They're not really great for a lot, and stuff like that. And I kind of hope that, CCP wises up and is like, you know what, we're going to, as part of this new rollout of Black Ops, that we're going to make Black Ops versions of some of the Edencom ships and Trig ships. I think that would be really cool. But I have to admit that, like, given what I've seen recently, my hopes are not that high.
Yep. No, I could agree with that. I mean, we'll make our own content, right? We're triangles. We'll do what we got to do. Offensive logi, ruin someone's day.
Right. What about
It's
you,
the thing
Colin? What?
I'm fond of
Oh, sorry.
reminding. Oh, the thing that we got out of the thing was our community. It survives even if the space dies.
Right.
And I
Right.
mean, I feel bad for Edencom that they got the shaft, but I also don't feel bad for Edencom that the Triangles got a huge RP group out of the deal. Like the RPers for Galente, Kaldari, Amar, Mimitar are kind of small next to us Triangles. Like we bought in a crazier way, and yeah, we might have shot each other for half a year and still talk friendly to each other and helped each other out when we needed to. But at the end of the day, we all were like, yeah, we're triangles. Like, fuck you guys. Like, we're going to ruin your day. Like, we bought into
Yeah.
something that no one wanted to buy into because everyone wanted stale high sec and stale low sec and not getting things ruined and your typical freighter path ruined.
They
Right.
had an opportunity to burn space, and they fought for the space cops. They fought for the empires. They defended Amarian theocrats and slavers. They defended Kaldari corporatists. Ew. How do you sleep at night, Edencom? How you could roleplay anything and you roleplay a bootlicker? Ew.
Yeah. That's brutal. I love it.
But I
What
miss
about
you.
you?
Come back and let's shoot each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
What about you?
no. No, you
What about
need
you,
to join
Kyle?
us
What would
on.
you like to see? Oops, sorry.
I was just like, I was about to say Zero. No, you need to join us on Saturday Night Invasions.
Yep.
That sounds like fun.
It'd be fun to
Yep.
even come.
It is fun.
Every Saturday night at 0100 to swarm up in either Jita or Kino. Most likely Jita just because that's a Gino. Jita, just because it's easier to get stuff out from there. And then we eat in the null sec, we go low sec, roaming. You know, it's just a way for us to have fun.
So you asked about possible ideas. I would like to see a site for Triglavians that's equal to the world arc. Like basically assuming they could fix the payout, an ultra observatory with a Titan with a doomsday, where you're guaranteed to lose one ship,
That
but
would
it pays
be.
out 500 million.
I mean, everyone would probably donate to the person that lost their ships. Everyone would
yeah.
just be like, yep, here you go. Here's some of ours. Like, which we've done before when people have lost their like, at least I know was part of Kybernauts Clade. Like, we have donated when someone lost a ship.
It sounds like you want more Instalock. Kyle, this is how you get more Instalock drifters.
Yeah.
Ew, man.
Well, if the drifter site, they have doomsdays. If they paid out more, it might be worthwhile to run it and risk getting doomsday.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Imagine just whelping nesters and Lashaks all day. Like, who cares, bro? We're ballers.
that would hurt though. Like, I lost one shack that was like kind of blingy. I was kind of bummed out about it, and then well, everyone else in Kybernauts knows that I have like 10 Lashak hulls sitting in Jitta just to reship whenever I need to, but like it's that like hurt feeling of like, dude, I flew this shack for like 6 months and then it just died to something dumb. Like,
It's a bit unfortunate. I loved Lashak. It was like my favorite mainline ship, but given the changes to battleships recently, it's just unsustainable to keep throwing them at things. I've had to downgrade into Drekavacs, which are also awesome, but it sucks. The
yeah.
availability of trig ships has become sticky, and there's parts of them that we can't. I wish that we could get more of the, like, the crystalline isogen 10 and the 0 point condensate. I wish we could get these things from the LP store, make it useful for the production of trig ships, because at present there's really just no value in the LP store, at least in my
I
opinion.
I
Still
feel
broken.
bad for Edencom not having an LP store, but our LP store is hot garbage. Besides the books, what worth is there really anything in there? Okay, Zenitra blueprint and the capital shit stuff. Like, yeah, that kind of works, but like, you're not gonna make a Drekavac or a Lashak or a Nurgle. Like, all the BPCs that you can get from Abyssal Space, 100 times better than the ones we can buy. Like, totally useless. Like, the LP store is a giant joke, and that like half the LP store you can't get the items to buy stuff from it.
And Edencom
Yeah.
may not have a specific LP store, but they have the DED LP store, which once upon a time in the early days before you could help the Triglavians, we used to shoot them. We used to
Mm-hmm.
run emerging conduits, and you could get Pyrolancia by the mountain. You could get a bunch of skins. You could get a bunch of cool shit in their LP store, which comes directly from shooting triangles. We don't have anything like that. We just have, bad industrial blueprints that, again, like you pointed out, you can get cheaper elsewhere.
Yep. Nope. It's yeah. There's a lot of broken stuff that needs to fix, but what can you do?
Yeah, it feels like the only benefit we got for helping the Trigs is now we can't move through high set comfortably. Hooray. What a reward.
What do you mean? I get razzed all the time by my fellow court mates for blatantly refusing to shoot the high set gates for Edencom, like to kill Edencom. I'm positive with both because I've lost way too many valuable ships in high sec to Edencom. I was like, nope, nope, I'm just gonna farm it, so I'm good.
A lot of the members of Breadfleet came after the invasion. They came to explore Pakvan afterwards, and so I'm one of the only, like, most of Breadfleet is positive with both, and I'm like this old grizzled veteran, still -2 with Edencom. Oh, I'll tell you about the days when we had to fight these bastards, and they're still not. They're not blue
see,
to
see,
me.
Bing always tells the stories of the glory days of being in fleet with Zeramus and playing for 12
Yep.
hours straight. And I wish I would have started up Eve earlier last year. I mean, it's been a year since I've been back, over a year that I've been back now. And I wish I would have started like 3 months earlier so I could have gotten my feet back in place and flying a ship again. Because I would have, fuck yeah, I would have spent all day. I would have foregone sleep just to to flip a system.
Yeah,
Yeah. The,
it came at an awkward time for me. I was working a lot, and so, but there were days when I would just take the entire day, and just as long as I could be awake, I was on grid fighting for
Yeah,
stars.
the Niarja invasion was the very first time that I ever took a day off from work to play a video game.
wow.
Wow.
That's
Niar-
really cool, man. That's
Niarja,
really
okay.
cool.
Dude, funny story about Niarja. I used to be based out of Kuna in a Mars base. Do you know how excited I was that Niarja fell? Oh, I was elated until I realized that now I had to make 42 jumps to Chitta. It was bad. I was so excited because I was like, dude, fuck that place. Because like I remember it from my mining days. Like, because my career was always been mining for the longest freaking time, and the whole trig thing changed my, like, if you looked at my Z kill board, you'd be like, he killed nothing ever, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, look, he's a trig now, he's killing everything you can see. But like, damn, like I was so excited, like it was great. Like I would have loved to have already been like had my feet back in place, my spaceship legs, I should say. Because the second I got
It's
back,
romantic now, but it was very grindy back then.
oh, I believe it. But I'm just
So
saying, like,
grimy.
the second I got back, I went balls to the walls on training all trig ships. I think the only two ships I have left to finish level 5 out of is the Draugr for command ships and not the Rodiva. What's the other Logi cruiser?
The extra
Zarmag.
or the Zarmaz?
The Zarma.
Oh, got you. Yeah.
Like those are the only two ships that I'm not 5 of 5 trained into. Like that's it. Like I went balls deep into trig ships because I was like, these things are freaking awesome. And after all our structures were down, I was like, well, I get to go back into high sec and hop into my icky torso more and not worry about it getting whelped too much. Like get to have fun in my favorite ship.
I
Well-
have almost perfect Zernitra skills. I got nothing to do. There's no use for that in the world. I don't know what to do with all my Zernitra skills.
So I know who to sell my Zunitra when I accidentally win one on the Hypernet too.
I will double any Zernitras you send to me.
There you go.
Well, if you can start, doubling ships, instantaneously, I think that's an exploit.
Yeah. No,
Speaking
if-
of the invasion, though, we talk fondly about the invasion, right? And you come back and, oh, this is fun. I remember time before Erebos, though, right? There was some low times before we actually finally got our first system flipped.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Like there was infighting going on. There was us trying to figure out how to do it, if it could be done, if this was being trolled by CCP.
well, I mean, they did control the outcome, but I still want 81 systems. I want to ruin all of high sec and low sec. Just 81 systems that are part of Pokemon.
I think we should go out in the null sec a little bit too. Just kind of take some out there.
Oh, are we going to start taking, some SOV space as a coalition?
I'm thinking like NPC null that's all attached to all of the actual, what you can actually take over in null sec, and then you can just kind of have it literally be the underbelly of Eve of New Eden.
It'd be nifty if the borders of Pakvan were nebulous and eternally shifting. If by virtue of our conflict with Edencom, stars would fall and constantly be absorbed into Pakvan. That'd be dope. That'd be cool if one day Pakvan was really large and the next it was small, and we had to fight to, change it. That'd be fun.
In before 1DQ becomes part of Pachman.
Jitta 4-4 win.
Pakvan was always real delve. We always knew it.
Lord.
Yeah, right. I still love the this skybox messing up on Nick's screen and us being like all excited, and when he was in Jitta 4, like he was at Jitta taking photos at Jitta 4-4 for us because it was all Trig Sky.
Hoping next week there might be a fun little article to go with that. So look forward to that on Eve Onion.
Yes, I'm still waiting for my satire post, Opus.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
So if you guys don't know, and you didn't see the first episode of this show, Opus is the chief onion of Eve Onion. Great satire show. And he promised me he was going to make a satire write-up about this show because, Trigs, being Trigs, making their own things.
Well, we do try to, not just for your show, but any, Eve Online centric show or whatever. We try to give them their due, give them some props, and kind of give them a little welcome to the community of satire by giving them a big punch in the gut. But just haven't. It's only your third episode, man.
Yeah, I know. Last weekend was, Father's Day. I had to drive 2 hours to my parents' place. I didn't want to hassle people into trying to do something on a Sunday. I will be more flexible in the future on days.
This is your third episode?
Yep.
That's the most Triglavian episode of all. We have to celebrate.
Right? It's the Triglavians times third episode.
Happy Triangle Day, bro.
Yeah, right? I mean,
This is really his first episode. This is the first triangle. So every 3 is really like your first one.
yeah. Every 3 is the first
Right.
episode. Yep. Definitely. No, yeah, I mean it's been fun to do this. I mean, next weekend there's not going to be an episode, so I might do a weekly episode because I'm taking a week and a half off of work. I'm buggering off in the woods for a few days, so I just need to get away from civilization and people. I hate people.
Wait a minute. I don't think I've got that time off request in the Cybernauts Clade time off yet.
I leave on Thursday.
I frequently reset in the same way. I head off into the desert to be rid of society and do enough LSD to be comfortable with them again.
Oh, my
It's a,
man.
it's a process.
Now I need to know. Now I know who to reach out to. Oh, wait, no, we're not supposed to say this on Twitch.
And
Hey,
there goes
man.
your show.
Yep, and I'm banned.
Socializing is a process. Yeah.
No, but
That helps.
no, we talked about this 2 weeks ago with Juris Doctor when we went past Brisk leaving, and typically 4th of July weekend for me is my get away from people. I typically go to Isle Royal National Park, and you can't get self service, period, or you get Canadian self service, and I can't use it. So normally it's like a week long backpacking trip for me, but it's next week. Next weekend I'll be gone. Maybe in the week we'll do another episode if I can wrangle some cats to get some triangle cats together to do something. but it's how it goes. All right. So I'm assuming we're gonna start wrapping up here, unless you guys want to
Yeah.
ramble on about something else. So my last real comment here, really quick, would be, yeah, guys who aren't triangles, watch out for us. We're going to start invading your space and having fun. Saturday Night Invasions might bloom into some more chaos. Maybe multiple fleets of 25 going out in a nullsec and ruining your day. Well, then again, nullsec is dead, so we'll probably be drifting around nullsec stealing your ESSs. But my little fun thing that I like to do is kills of the week or funny kills you've been on. Random stupidity that you got into over the past couple weeks. Mine would be today logging in, and one of my court mates was a little bummed about the fact that another court mate murdered someone in Pakman. And was depressed about the language barrier because we do have multilingual people in our court, and him not understanding that person wanted them to wait on murder and he couldn't join in. Bing, let's go to you. Anything funny, entertaining besides your death
I
last
mean,
night?
aside from the structures, when TTT went down, that signaled the end of an era, right? And that was huge to me. I think that was my favorite. Yeah.
Zero?
Not so very long ago, we had Birthday Bash Part 2, World War Chappie. It was in Tanudin back
Yeah.
when Tanudin was high sec, and so they came on back to have a fight at the Sun. And so I showed up and I wasn't in the fleet, and so I whelped a pacifier and a bunch of other shit just shooting at Chappie and their whole fleet. I was listening to Ashtarothi's stream, and it was funny to listen to them like, what the hell? It's Zero. What's he doing here? Should we not shoot him? Oh no, definitely shoot him. It was like they were trying in comms to figure out what I was doing, and then eventually I joined up with the fleet, and we got bombed a bunch, and we fought the bombers, and then I shot Chappie, and I'm on a Chappie kill, so it was just a great time. If you missed it, you missed out.
That's a good one.
Eve Metro is awesome.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Actually, we maybe should touch on that really quick before we sign off. All right, let's go to Opus really quick. Besides us getting hunted by that nightmare for a minute, is there anything funny that you dealt with this week?
The nightmare was pretty funny. I think really dealing with Reddit has been the funniest thing, right? Looking at the narratives that are pushed on us. It's I welcome the community's feedback on certain things, but I also find that it really hilarious that there are people that commenting on Reddit that have never set foot into Potchman and tell us all how Potchman is, right? And that just watching as people are starting to correct the narrative, I think that the stuff's getting out what really it was like in here, and Just reading these comments has been great. The crying, the whining, the glee. It's just been a mix of everything, and I'm happy this phase is over with and going into Triglavian Invasion Part 4. I'm excited for that.
Yep. All right. So, Kylon, you brought that up, Eve Metro. We should touch on that a little bit. I do think that's I do think that's a cool, really thing. We'll touch on this as the last topic before we end this shit show. Have you used it, Kylon, already?
Yeah, there's a few of us in Toast that have bought into it. It's a per tune thing. It's not locked to any particular alliance or anything. So you just if you want to use it, you pay into it. And I believe if you want to contribute to it, they will pay you for that. But it's a really cool Postman map.
I'm sure some of the guys that we have in Arc Warp who spend all day and blow up our our bookmark folder with all their connections and the wormholes and stuff would love to commit to that stuff. All right, guys. Any last comments?
Yes.
Nope. Oh.
If you are a new person, a new bro, or some person who's never set foot inside of Pockven, I urge you to check out these crazy new troublemakers, Toast. I understand they're quite new bro friendly. We have a new Proving Corp called Dough Fleet, and you can graduate from Dough Fleet into Bread Fleet, and all the while be a part of Toast. Do you see the common theme in our branding? Come hang out with us. Pockven is fun. There is content, I promise.
All right, Kylon, I'm sure you're probably just going to repeat what Zero just said.
Well, I was going to say thanks for having me here. And yeah, it does seem like small gang PvP has picked up a little bit since the structure thing went away. And that's kind of the way I like it. So,
Opus, our chief onion and boss man of Cybernets.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have any competing ads today, but Zero of them was cool people. I would like everyone to know that I'm thankful for these guys' uh, help and being blue through this whole process. The coalition has been in a very good place the last few weeks, and it's been great flying alongside these people and having them as friends and blues. I'm glad to see that Zero of them landed on their feet with Toast. So yeah, you come out to Potchman, we'll shoot you. Stay outside of Potchman, we'll shoot you. Just we're gonna shoot you.
if you shoot us right, you'll become our friend.
If you shoot us right and be respectful, you'll be our friend. Besides Zero just being, what, Slavic god, if we're going to go down the triangle path right now.
Right.
All right, Bang, any last things you want to say?
Yeah, so I was chasing a procurer around Kino for the past like 10 minutes, so that's been why I've been so quiet. No, I think that I think this has been a lot of fun. It's good to have Zero and Kylon on. I mean, like you kind of alluded to, I've flown with these guys for a long time. It's really cool to get on and chat about something when we're not just chilling in Discord, although we kind of are just chilling in Discord. But no, it's been real. It's been a lot of fun.
Yep. Zero, you're about to say something before I sign us out.
I can't remember.
It's okay, dude. Just hit the vape pen.
If I was a Slavic goddess, I would be Divana, the goddess of the hunt.
If you don't know, the logo I use is Nemzia, the goddess who cuts God/goddess. It changes gender. That god changes gender, and it actually is the God/goddess that cuts the string of fate and of death. I went big brain on my, I'm Polish, so I'm Polish, so I'm Slavic, so I followed my gods. But all right, guys, this is episode 3. I made a mistake, so I'm probably gonna edit something into the video before post this up on YouTube because I forgot to hit record. So about 7 minutes was missing. Typical me. I always miss something. But
right.
Zero, Kylon, Opus, thanks for coming on today. You guys know you're always welcome. Pay attention to the Discord, please, guys. If I toss something out there, respond so I know who wants to show up. But you guys have a good Sunday afternoon or Monday morning or whatever time you guys are at. Go blow some shit up.